Welcome back to Gollum. So let's get back to here to check the new collectible.
The more we
Picture
go
Baggins.
into here,
Baggins. We hates it, but doesn't really look like him.
what does that even mean? So it's a what is it like a?
It's a bad. It's a.
Baggins?
I guess it's a badly drawn picture. I don't know.
I don't recall Baggins ever being.
Well, it matches
wanted.
everything else in this game, doesn't it?
Remember, Jova, the Candleman actually managed to, extort information from Gollum with one of the early visits about what he knew about Bilbo.
I guess something has to happen to him, given how he never did go after Baggins in the Shire.
We'll see about that, Jova, don't worry.
But yeah, going back to the point that I was trying to make, like for example, the bird thing, like the bird friend that Gollum has in this game is completely inconsequential because this never factors in any way in the original trilogy of books / movies. So it feels kind of, I feel kind of like it was just thrown in here. Oh. I love how it even. I love how it doesn't even look like he killed. It just looked like he only broke a leg.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, considering how weak Gollum is, I think a broken leg could
I guess.
cause shock.
You know, even if the bird didn't have an impact on the original stories, I just want that bird to actually have a good impact in this story itself. It doesn't feel like it's even managed that. Despite how the Candleman has made a big deal about how, the bond between you and this bird is very important. Never mind the fact that he is teaching Gollum, not the most trustworthy of dudes, to use a bird, which can be a quintessential means of spreading misinformation or pretty much mucking with his ventures.
Although I will give it credit that as a prequel, it's still like again, it's kind of like what Brando SP even said when he was talking about Dirge of Cerberus. Yeah, Dirge of Cerberus is really stupid, but it's not like it ruins Final Fantasy VII or anything. It's just its own self-contained thing that doesn't really impact the plot of the main game anyway, so whatever. If you don't like it, you can just ignore it.
Which is funny because given how the remake is apparently a time-traveling venture, which may or may not be due to whatever Genesis had planned at the end of Dirge of Cerberus.
Well, 7 Remake is actually
ironic.
7 Remake is actually integrating the Deep Brown guy, so, and I'm sure they'll be written more thoughtfully compared to Dirge of Cerberus because it's been a long time since Dirge of Cerberus, to be fair. What the fuck is wrong with you, game? What the fuck
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck is wrong with this game?
It looks like he was humping the wood there for a bit. Like, I swear, there's like a glitch waiting for you almost every corner of this game.
God damn it, game! I'm trying to play. Okay, can you please let me play without you shitting all over yourself? Like seriously.
Don't you see, Pedro? The very challenge of being able to play is part of the experience. Totally worth full price.
Jesus. Okay. So at the very least, even despite this being a bad prequel, it's still something that you can just ignore it. The original trilogy is still there, untainted. So whatever.
Yeah.
It's which is more than I can say for Life is Strange Before the Storm, where that not only does that thing directly contradict things from the first Life is Strange, and basically ends up making Chloe look even worse than before by giving her this big ability to manipulate people with her words, even though there's been plenty of opportunities for her that would have been useful to use in the original game, but she never does it,
Well, you see, Pedro, of course she gives all the duties to her time-traveling friend. I mean, only because she cares for Max, and not like she's totally using Max like a tool or instrument like the good old friend she is.
Okay,
Chloe honestly feels like Dee Reynolds from Always Sunny if the show wasn't calling out Dee on her crap. Talks a big game, but is really a piece of crap herself. But I digress. Let's, I guess, keep the topic to this game as best we can. What the heck was that animation?
It's an animation.
Is that just another bugging out?
Gollum.
It looked like he was trying to facepalm the scream there for a bit.
Lord of the Rings Gollum. It's animation. And that's all. That's all I can say. That's all I have to say about it.
It's a video game. Yeah.
Seriously, that animation looks so weird of him. Like, it looks like he's high-fiving the wall instead of grasping it. I mean, granted, this animation ain't much better since he's clearly not really properly gripping. And you know, I get it. Some of the stuff is like in between stuff, so it wouldn't look like he's properly grasping. But man, it does not feel like this game can really get anything right.
No. Of course. Obviously, this thing can be knocked over.
How are you supposed to know that brushing up against it will knock it over? I don't think we've seen that mechanic before in this game.
Not just that, again, how is I supposed to know I mean, it's not like that pillar looks any different from the rest of the level, so how am I supposed to tell that thing isn't... so how am I supposed to tell that thing is interactable?
But you guys keep saying you hate games having code in your hand.
Well, there's this thing called a middle ground, dear sir.
Yes, there's called a middle ground. It's there's a spectrum to things.
This is my new friend. I called him Sir Missing the Point.
Like it's one of those things where it's unlike what people on the internet would have you believe. Life, there are shades of gray. Life is not all black and white in every aspect of our lives. So
is that another eyeball?
Epic slow-mo!
Oh god, that slow motion looks terrible. The frames were literally stuttering with it and everything. Good grief. Well, that happened. It didn't feel as epic as the game wanted it to feel.
Somehow, when I think Gollum, I don't think epic jumps.
Like, it's not even like they were heating up to that moment. Why do we all of a sudden just have that dramatic leap?
Anyway, there you go. There's, I think that's progression, I guess. Yeah, well, as if I remember correctly, yeah. Oh yeah, this part. Okay, so there you go.
What?
Sauron. I'm guessing Sauron got tired of these people, so he decided to just, heat them all to death and shit. So now we have to find a way down to cages and escape Sauron's wrath or some shit.
I mean, they probably kept fucking things up, so.
Alright, so basically this is a section where you have to... Yeah, there you go. It's about to see. See? Wait, does it freeze you or burn you? Make up your mind, Smeagol.
Also, why didn't he actually say the line? Like, the subtitle says it, but... Yeah, now he says it.
But yeah, the nasty light can't find us. So basically it boils down to this. Every time... Sauron, I guess. I'm not entirely certain what's causing this, but does this.
Supposedly it's that red crystal, which I don't know if that's Sauron's will to you. Was there ever any lore thing that said that Sauron's will extended to red crystals like that?
Not that I remember.
Okay, so basically, in that case, I'm just gonna assume that God is pissed off at Gollum, and he's just like, wouldn't be funny if I have this bit where I'm constantly trying to burn him at regular intervals, like, so, and that's basically what happened.
And somehow hiding behind.
If the data log says anything about this.
Don't worry, Tail. We'll check the data log later, but it doesn't say anything from what I remember.
And yet, for something so powerful, hiding behind simple wood.
Okay, it is called the Tower of Light, so I'm guessing it's supposed to be like sorry, go on.
What happened there when you just jumped over and fell thousands of feet to your death?
Because I'm not supposed to go into that specific spot, Webs. The game is scripted where if I go to some place I'm not intended to, the game will just automatically kill me. Go on.
I'm guessing it's supposed to be the equivalent to a lighthouse, and considering Sauron's powers, the idea that it emits a light that, can be dangerous to those who stand nearby, not necessarily the issue of something equivalent, I guess it's logical enough to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it must strictly be the light, because it's weird that hiding behind relatively weaker structures shields you from it just fine.
It's red light, Drovite, therefore it's evil.
That can't be good.
That being, if I remember correctly too, I don't think the data log. We're going to be reading ourselves, so don't worry. If I remember correctly too, I don't think the data log explains this. That being said, allow me to remind everybody in the audience that the data log, you have to pay extra for it. So even if the data log does explain it, it's still quite egregious considering you have to pay to get that shit in the game.
Apparently Gollum is scared by it, as the subtitles let us know.
It doesn't even make any sense. Like, there's no way you can possibly justify that because it's a data log. It's just a lore compendium. It's just writing. It's just text. It costs nothing to produce. There's charging money for that is literally a scam. It's like if I wrote. It's like if I wrote a letter to Wibbs and I put it like he has to charge to open the letter. Like.
I ask, would it have been too costly to just add an extra line from the Candleman saying, by the way, I have included a security system?
Here's what actually happened. The developers thought up of this. Oh, it would be cool if we had a level where Gollum is, has to kind of like one of the sections from Journey, where we have to constantly put ourselves in under a rock so that we can protect ourselves. In this case, not wind; it's actually light. But you know what I mean, right?
We're technically exposed to the light here. How is that not hurting us?
Because I'm behind the wall, and that counts. The point.
But yeah, go on.
But yeah, the developers thought up it would be really cool idea to have a level like this, but they couldn't really come up with a good in-story excuse for it to be here, so it just is. Like Theo said, it's a tower of light, so you can theorize that it has something to do with how this tower works, of course.
If I may, if this were a good game, while we might have raised our eyebrows at it, at the very least we'd be having enough fun that we wouldn't have to be thinking about it. The problem is, fun is not to be had apparently, so
that's the thing. Actually, Java,
our minds more open to be questioning it.
Actually, Java, normally I might agree with you, but this is a Lord of the Rings game. You know, a franchise that is known for being highly intelligently written fantasy. You know. So I expect the writing to be intelligent and not have these kinds of sloppy issues, even if it's fun. Like Tolkien raised the bar tremendously with his books, you know, and so even if it's just dumb fun, nothing wrong, not that I can enjoy dumb fun, but like that's still very below the bar of the Lord of the Rings, you know.
I think the problem is they went out of their way to add something as weird and random as red crystal that glows and apparently burns people for some reason, and then just went out of their way not to explain about it.
And Gollum is being burned to death?
Yes, it was.
Well, burned or frozen.
And that's the interesting thing. He says, it burns us, it freezes us. Wait, does it burn you or does it freeze you? Make up your mind.
I can do both.
Oh, that is interesting.
All the fantasy elements have the freeze-burn type of capacity of inflicting the serious pain on both of those kind of receptors.
I guess.
Nothing. Again, my major point for this is that sure, it is a problem that it's not technically properly explained, but it's one of those things that due to the setting when suspension believes something like this can exist in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I would love to know more information about it, but I don't think it's too out of the ordinary.
I think it's one of those.
It would be so if someone pulls out a machine gun out of nowhere. Yeah, I will actually be more surprised about that.
I think it's more so because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tolkien did a fantastic job of his world building and making sure that everything had a purpose and reason and justifiable logic to it.
To be descriptive, yes.
Yeah, so it feels a bit, like they're not exactly capturing Tolkien's writing style with this. And I get that that's difficult. But well, if you're not capable of doing that, maybe you should make a Lord of the Rings game to begin with. Go on, Joe.
Again, my main issue is why go out of your way to have something as random as this and then not explain it? Like, you could have easily have just replaced this with, the usual guards are watching for us or something, and that probably would have worked just as well, if not better.
No, that was my bad. That's fine. It's more so.
I mean,
It's one of those things where it's annoying because I have to move the camera myself. So as I jump, I also have to move the camera to the other side so I can see. You know, so it's annoying.
keep in mind he's in a hurry because of the red light that was
Yeah.
used.
So it's not like I can do this slowly. I have to do it fast. So. Okay. Should be smooth sailing from here, hopefully.
Don't jinx it.
Come on, grab the thing.
If only professional gymnastic competitions existed at this point in time.
Yeah,
Look at
Gollum
killing.
would probably.
Okay.
Well, I say made a killing. He probably would have killed the judges. So.
Alright, let's wait a bit until it's over. Well, it's a good thing at the very least it seems like I'm not entirely okay, that was my bad. Sorry.
Died.
You know, I always find it funny. Like I can imagine Tolkien just writing down suddenly, and then Gollum fell to his death. The end.
We already did this.
Well, isn't there like literally a line like that at the end of Return of the King though, when he falls in the lava? So isn't that basically what it is? And then Gollum falls into the lava and dies. That's basically what happens. So
Pretty much.
We also please remember we did a bit about Gollum, about Tolkien cleverly predicting, Shadow's human form for Shadow War.
Huh. So there was technically setup for Shelob to have a human form.
Oh, that was that shitpost Jova.
alright. So the idea is that we're supposed to go through here. Alright. Next up. There you go. Okay. But what, yeah, I got falling damage from that? Seriously?
Guessing there was some rail nearby you're supposed to climb down, maybe?
I guess now I have to...
I'm guessing I think there's another set of... Yeah, down there. There's another set of rails.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm supposed to go down, don't worry. I'm gonna do that right now. Fortunately, the game saved the checkpoint here, so...
I think that's one of the game's saving graces, or, again, possible last-minute changes to salvage it.
From what I've heard, apparently on the initial release there was actually some issues with the checkpoint system, but they got fixed in the patch, fortunately.
I mean, the patches probably had to do something.
Oh, sure.
No. What I mean is that, I wonder what specific stuff did they had to fix.
Unfortunately, we don't know. Like, it just says bug fixes and nothing else.
Generic statement, yeah.
It's the typical thing where this game was looking to be a mess, so they figured, well, might as well try to salvage what we can with a day one patch.
Well, that seems to be a recurring thing, not necessarily for every single game, but for a lot of games released these days. To just...
Oh, yes.
Not necessarily to a fault, but, it's just a thing that happens.
I'm glad...
Optimization.
Which, to be fair, to be fair, the presence of a day one patch is not automatic causes for alarm. My guess is like in this case, for this game, the day one patch was just them trying to do all they could. But keep in mind, this is what the game is like, patched, and it's still a mess.
Yeah, the final state. I think
What
we
was it
mentioned one of
like
the early
bef-
parts.
Which makes you wonder, what was it like before that patch? Jesus Christ.
I do not know, but no, obviously. The only exception I can find to the rule would be Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, where that game is actually more fun to play in its 1.0 state, because all the patch did was fix the Knuckles Infinity Jump glitch and those bits where we can fall through the floor, which. As well and removing that jump glitch, all it does is make the game less fun. So it's just fortunately now, like when you're emulating, you can just not do the patch, and you can even play the game in 60 FPS on Semu. So fuck it, I don't have to deal with that patch anymore, fortunately.
Why would you want to play
because we still have a commentary of that game to redo because our playthrough on the channel is severely outdated. Dwips.
I'll admit, having looked back at it, our Fairy Fence Rap playthrough was pretty old too.
No, I'm gonna.
Not really.
Not really. I think.
I'm contemplating not having anything more to do with Fairy Fencer F at this point.
Well, there's refrain
mean,
chord, Dwips, so you're gonna have to deal with it sooner or later. I've recently finished the game, and man, what a wet fart of a game. Like, seriously, the plot is so generic, even by Fairy Fencer F standards. Like, it's...
I'm just hoping and praying that it somehow wraps up that cliffhanger we had from the original.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not.
I know about that.
In fact, Teo, now I can tell you this now that I finished it. Not only does it not elaborate on the cliffhanger of Advent Dark Force, it creates its own original cliffhanger that will most likely never be resolved.
Are you serious?
No, yes, I am serious.
And this time the game has only the one route, right?
No, it has different endings. Well,
It has different endings, but it's just all that changes is which girl Fang ends up with: Tiara, Aaron, or the new girl Floor. That's it. There's nothing else.
When I say it just has one route, I'm talking about, you know, like how Advent Dark Force has.
Yeah. No, there's no free specific. Okay. Well, okay, to be fair, I have recently looked up that apparently there's one specific choice that apparently changes into a specific route. I haven't tried it yet, but don't worry, I'm planning on doing it when I start New Game Plus. So maybe it will, but I'm not gonna hold my breath though, because I severely doubt that there's like a second route to the story. It doesn't really feel like that there would be much room for that, honestly. So don't hold your breath on that. I know I won't.
I don't even know if there's a lot of fans for Refrain Chord, because
isn't.
even the Fairy Fence Ref fan communities I've been able to find don't really talk much about Refrain Chord.
It has its fans like Twit Gamer and Yellow Super Nintendo. If you don't know, there's a YouTuber who's a big Compile Heart guy. It does have its fans, but it's only a subset of fans within the already small Compile Heart fan base. You know, it's literally a niche within a niche.
And again, it's weird. So you have a game that clearly has a cliffhanger for a sequel, and the next time you make a game with that franchise's name, you essentially make what I hear is sort of a semi-remake of the events of the original game, but with a bolstered cast.
Oh yeah, going back to this game real quick, I'm having trouble climbing because I'm not entirely... Okay, so I can climb here. But this surface doesn't look like the rest of the surface that I can climb in, though. It doesn't have the same...
Is that there are...
It doesn't have the same texture. Like, if you're going to have, colored, specifically textured bits that make it super easy climb here, you dumb fuck, at least be consistent about it.
Yeah, like...
Interact. And Gollum falls to his death. Well, there you go. That
was actually part of the plan?
I was joking!
Wait. So all the other falls have killed us, but this one didn't? Sure.
So let me get this straight.
Game, go ahead.
So if that was gameplay, I would have died from fall damage, but because it's a cutscene, somehow Gollum just gets right up with no issues, no bruises, nothing. Of course, that makes sense. Hey, Grashnek.
I guess we're safer from the red light down here?
Yes. Well, we fell a long distance, so I can believe that.
Remember, get the idea that the tower life functions more like a lighthouse more than anything.
Oh god, this section. Okay, now the game.
Sewer level.
Now the game decided to go full Zelda water temple on us. Now we have to control the water level so we can progress, and also you have to help Grashnek across.
Okay, now it's my turn to say it for the devs. I don't know how much for attention did you paid for the internet, but people tend to have a general idiosyncrasy towards sewer level, and particularly dungeons that rely entirely on this gimmick about raising and lowering water levels constantly to create a pathway. Sure, by also probability they can be done right, don't get me wrong, but as soon as someone gets to see one of these, there's a distincting reaction of disgust to that. So it probably was not the best idea to try to still have a section for that like that.
It's like with escort. It's like with escort missions and shit like that.
It's not just the aesthetic of sewer missions that tends to put people off. It's just, I don't know why, but sewer missions feel like they have
back
this
and forth,
pact.
Jova. The raising and lowering water levels, involves a lot of backtracking, going back and forward. Even worse if there are specific collectibles that require to do one thing or another.
Here's the thing. As someone who actually doesn't mind the water temple in Ocarina of Time, I hate this bit, and it's actually because once again, while most of the puzzle is fine, there's a particular aspect that's not particularly well conveyed to you, and we'll get to it in the next part because I don't actually finish this in this part because go on.
Sewer levels are like desert levels in that it feels like they all form a pact to have a lot of those tropes that we don't like about them without really mixing it up. It's like it's a contract that, yes, the sewer desert level must be annoying in this fashion.
Okay, how many times has Gollum clipped through the levers at this point?
I know, right? Jesus. I mean, seriously, he's clipped through almost everything he's had to interact with at some point in the game.
I also love, have you noticed, look at it, the water is standing still.
Oh my god, it is!
This is technically not water, but, combination of blood and shit, but it should create a kind of a ripple. See, on the left it did look like it was actually moving a bit. But
did they just forget to...
Really.
I could have sworn it was moving properly when it was lowered. Did they just forget to animate it?
That's very easy to explain, guys. It's one of the many corners that was cut in development.
Jeez Louise.
Indeed.
This game feels like it's barely keeping itself together from turning into.
Well, yeah, I think that is beyond debate at this point, Joe. Considering all the nonsensical glitches I found up until this point.
Oh yeah, sure, without a doubt. But it's astounding how it finds new ways to impress or distress us with how it is.
Okay, so I climb here. Okay, that was my bad.
I guess to give them credit, they do portray the ickiness of swimming through a mixture of blood, crap, and water.
They do. They do also, however, make it so that Gollum washes off somehow mysteriously, almost instantly.
They do make it needless, and I will admit, they do make it needlessly difficult to see under it. Like, I get it, realism and all that, but realism should not always...
It kind of reminds me of that level on that Star Wars game on the N64, Shadows of the Empire, where you do get to have a sewer level with murky water, and it's not very pleasant.
What you're seeing here is me thinking, okay, I know what this painting on the wall is. It's meant for me to climb, so you'd think I would be able to climb and get in there, but no, that's not what I'm supposed to do, as you're going to see in the next part. I'm being a bit thrown out because, okay, up until this point, this always meant that I climb and then I jump, so I'm assuming I have to jump to that wall on the left, right? But no, that's not what I'm supposed to do, as you're going to see later.
It's a case where the water will be raised even further, and at that point it will be able to actually use these to grab onto something.
We'll get back to this. But yeah, like I was saying, I actually don't mind the water temple. I actually think it's better than the Great Bay Temple from Majora's Mask, honestly. Not that I dislike the Great Bay Temple, but like a lot of people like to clown on the water temple of Ocarina of Time. But I will argue Great Bay Temple is worse. I still enjoy both those temples, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick the water temple personally. But even for me, who's tolerant to that kind of thing, even I cannot stand this part. Just to give you guys an idea.
It's like most of the game. It's unintuitive, doesn't do a good job of helping you progress overall, but now you have the added aesthetic of a sewer level, along with the annoying mechanics that usually accompany it. What fun!
Indeed. It's all about... Well, actually, no, the part's almost over, I might as well save it.
Also, what about the ancient basin from Skyward Sword?
I like the Ancient Cistern. You mean? Yeah, that's actually one of the best water dungeons in my opinion. I also enjoy the one from Twilight Princess. I forgot its name. The one where you have to rotate the stairs. That one is pretty cool. So I kind of wish
I guess we'll try and progress next part.
It's a shame, Teo, because according to Onuma, us people who like those dungeons, we're just hanging on to nostalgia. So fuck that
I feel
shit.
like there's some context that I'm missing out there, so let's go on to the next part.
See ya, everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See ya.